Get up, get down. JLPT is a joke in town. Why I hate the JLPT and why it's a waste of your time and money. Written by Khatzumoto, posted in September of 2008. About a month ago, I got an email from a very handsome man that went a little something like this. Very handsome man. Quote, "Hi cats, just wondering what you think of the JLPT. Is it worth taking to measure your Japanese fluency, even if by some chance it's not required when applying for a job in Japan? If so, how do you know when you're ready?" End quote. Let me answer that very handsome man's question with a rhetorical question. Would you, native speaker of English reading this, take the TOEFL or TOEIC to put on your resume in order to prove your English proficiency? Think about it. You have a resume in Japanese, your name is kanjified, your cover letter is in Japanese, you talk to HR on the phone in Japanese, and they have to ask your nationality to make sure because they thought a gaijin was supposed to be calling. You also write HR emails in Japanese. Your interview is in Japanese, an hour-long Q&A session on academic/technical subjects, not to mention that essay you submitted days before the interview, which you discuss and liberally quote from. If this doesn't prove Japanese proficiency, then what the Bill Clinton does. I hate the freaking JLPT. It's nothing but a way for the test givers to make money, nothing wrong with that, asking stupid 4-choice questions in which 50% of the time, fake statistic, 2 of the answers are correct Japanese in some reasonable context, but of course only one answer is JLPT correct. I know I'm being harsh, I understand and even share the desire for unbiased third-party evaluation of language skill, but this is not it folks, just not freaking it. This beast is a failure. The never-ending human desire to reduce everything to a number and a certificate falls flat again. And I like numbers. Dude, I love money, numbers, and machines, and progress and all that good stuff. Last week I was wearing my sweatshop-made Nikes and washing down my McDonald's burger with a Coca-Cola when I accidentally ran over an entire family of hippies with my brand new Hummer. Their screams were so loud I could barely hear my iPod. And this, people, is why I'll be the first to tell you that these JLPT numbers is whack. Matt Damon and I both avidly dislike them apples. The Japanese language proficiency test is just like every other standardized test in that it doesn't measure actual ability or proficiency in the field in question. It merely measures proficiency in taking the test. Oh, don't get me wrong, you need to know some English to understand SAT directions and some Japanese to understand JLP instructions, but beyond that it's just about splitting the stupidest, ugliest hairs imaginable. For the sake of honesty, it should be renamed as something along the lines of the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, much like how the SAT has at various times in the past respectively been called the Scholastic Aptitude Test and the Scholastic Assessment Test. But ETS had to back off them lies because SATs neither measure nor assess scholastic anything. The SAT group of tests, now literally reduced to a meaningless acronym, measure SAT taking ability. That is why Adam Robinson had to go and write Cracking the SAT. Did you know that your score will go up each time you take an SAT or JLPT or even an IQ test? Did you suddenly become more scholastically apt? Did you get smarter? Did you know more Japanese than 5 minutes ago? And somehow, the JLPT people have got the whole freaking world convinced that you need a JLPT to get a job or even be recognized as an adult in Japanese society. None of my Japanese friends, colleagues, or associates have ever even heard of the JLPT, just as most English speakers have no idea what the TOEIC or TOEFL are. Tellingly, the author of this super excellent book discusses the phenomenon of people with mad dope TOEIC scores, but crappy English. Anyway, the JLPT matters far more to and among gaijin than to and among actual Japanese people. Because guess what? Japanese is not about passing tests. It's about listening to, reading, speaking, and writing real, live, uncut, unedited, non-multiple choice Japanese. Are Japanese people going to come up to you and be like, "Watashi wa Tokyo ni ikimashita," and then go, "Did I go A, to Tokyo, B, from Tokyo, C, in Tokyo, or D, at Tokyo?" No! For one thing, Japanese people don't say lame-o, borderline textbook-sounding things like "Watashi wa Tokyo ni ikimashita" any more than English speakers say, "How do you do?" or "What is your good name?" More importantly, there is no multiple freaking choice in real life. Real life is harder than that, in that you either understood fully and correctly, or you didn't. But it is also easier in that you can actually have fun practicing and not have your Japanese childhood turn into a JL mother-loving PT preparation ritual. Did I mention I hate the JLPT? By the way, if you buy me off, I'll take it all back. This post, gone. What joke? Woo's town. Focus on Nihongo, not stupid tests. Take it from someone who actually knows. Your daily interactions in Japanese are the greatest preparation and proof of proficiency. Watching comedy shows, talking to friends, reading manga, this is the real deal. This is life. This is your test of Japanese language proficiency. You should aim to be so good at Japanese that some stupid desk monkey circle-filling test of it would simply be an insult to your very being. A proposition as ludicrous as asking you to take the TOEIC or TOEFL. Do not learn Japanese to take tests in. End of rant. P.S. I have reviewed resumes written by candidates who had passed upper levels of this JLPT, at least level 2 and maybe some level 1. The resumes sucked. Poor usage, terrible formatting, kanji errors left and right. For all their precious test scores, do you think I would recommend them? Do you? In cases like this, and indeed in most cases that I can even think on this matter, language skill is, or at least freaking well should be, self-evident. It doesn't need to be tested. Save your time and money for that cosplay convention in a couple of months. End of rant, really, I'm done. And another thing, the arrogance of those JLPT makers. When did I die and give them the right to decide what constitutes standard Japanese? On what authority do they decide these levels? By what divine Khatzumotoan power do they decide the content of these tests? No, wait, scratch that. If you don't yet know Japanese, the JLPTers can always hide behind that. All you need to do is go look at some ESL or EFL materials to see for yourself what kind of bullwinkle that passes for language education and skill evaluation. My friend, the Emperor has no clothes. You do not need these tests. They're just a bunch of junk some people who think they know what they're talking about put together. If you really want to test your Japanese ability, turn on the television. For real, the end. You thought I was done, eh? Well, rants don't conclude. They merely pause. I'm back with another talking point. What's all this shizzle about, well, Khatzumoto, I'm going to take the JLPT to motivate me? The fork? Dude, if you need to shell out actual dollars to have someone ask you to fill in crappy little circles with a stupid little number 2 pencil in some massive room filled with other nervous desk monkeys to get, air quotes, motivation, air quotes, then maybe you shouldn't be learning Japanese in the first place. Dude, come on, make your own freaking goals, man. If you really want to test your Japanese ability, turn on the television.